kicking it, yeah, we kicking it. When we come to play, yeah, we winning it. We are here to stay, bringing our grit. We so sick with it, we just kicking it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I know it's been a month. I know y'all probably like, bro, here he go, back to being inconsistent. I'm sorry. Life just been lifing, you know what I mean? But we back. I really feel like I wanted to do an episode every week. I just kind of felt like that wasn't, maybe it is feasible. I think just because, end of the year, beginning of the year, it's really a lot of like holidays. You got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you got New Year's, and those of you who celebrate like Valentine's Day, if y'all got like a girlfriend over there. But those three big holidays, it kind of makes it hard, especially when you're trying to work all the time and blah, blah, blah. So, but at the minimum, I'm going to try and push these out once a month because I'm only in episode 5 of this series. I might cut it short to start the next series. I honestly might do that because since we are in February, at least trying to get to the next series a little bit. And maybe, we'll one episode will be this episode. What would be this series, the Unscripted series. And then the other one will be the Why It's Hard for Men to Love series. But, drop it down in the comments what you guys think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. Welcome back to Just Kicking It. I'm your host, CJ, the one and only, the 11 weirdo. But welcome back to a safe space, where as men, we can be ourselves. Last week we talked about, the age-old question, am I enough? That's something as men we struggle with. Getting validation because, one, you stop hearing it at a certain age. Like once you become, I think most times you stop hearing it when you become 8, that 8 to 10 range. But yeah, this week we're going to talk about something just as loud and quiet at the same time. Loneliness. Because for many men, even when life is full, they still felt empty. Boom. So today we're going to talk about the friendship aspect of it. Why male connection is often missing, how we start rebuilding more brotherhood. You know what I mean? In segment 1, it's why men feel alone. When you're little, making friends is kind of easy. You're in school, you're seeing this person, 5 days a week. You're basically going to a full-time job as a kid. So it's easy to see them. You're spending lunch together. Toys are a big thing. Like I met a lot of friends, as a kid, talking about Power Rangers and Ben 10 and all this other stuff. So as a kid, it was easy to make those friends. But, because you're bonding over, did you see the latest episode of Power Rangers, blah, 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 So it's easy then you're trying to create the moves and so on and so forth. But, as we get older, people move, people just stop being friends. Like it happens. And vulnerability gets replaced with surface talk. So let's say you're still friends with that person all these years later. Yes, they've seen you through your ups, your downs, your breakups, your heartbreaks, I just got a new job. Damn, I just got fired. Oh, I got a new place. Oh, I got to move. Stuff like that. Like you see those, but a lot of times you're not really talking about it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's, hey man, how you doing? I'm all right. How are you? I'm all right. Cool. Or, hey bro, did you catch the game? Yeah, man, Detroit, they got a real good squad this year. Kay Cunningham, he balling. But it's never, hey man, let's sit down, let's have a drink, let's talk, let's hang out. And I think that's something a lot of us are missing. And yes, this I feel like this is meant for men, but also I have female friends who say the same thing. Now, don't get me wrong. We all have friends who we don't hear from for a while, but when we hear from them, boom, my homeboy Wesley, we don't hang out all the time. I just saw him last weekend. That's probably the first time I saw him since before Christmas. Life be lifing. He had some stuff that kind of came up in his life. Bro got busy. I respected that. I got busy. Bro respected that. But when him and I get together, it's cool. I can take the layers off. I can peel the layers back like an onion. And he can do the same. We can be vulnerable with each other. Also, emotions get buried under jokes. A lot of times as men, when we're cracking jokes, I'm sad, but I still got to be funny. Which, it can be a coping mechanism for a lot of us. And sometimes that stuff sucks. Like a lot. Because you want to be able to be like, share your feelings. One, you just can't share them with everybody. So you're like, who do I trust in this moment? And then pain gets pushed aside because boys don't cry and men don't talk, which is so trash. Like, I feel like it's so crazy that we tell little boys to stop expressing their feelings. Why did our parents do this? I don't understand. And why did their parents do that? Like, you're not doing anything but causing great harm to that child, bro. And so, for me, whenever something bad happened in my life, I never talked about it, especially getting older. I feel like we don't get the space to talk about it. And I feel like that's also unfair, especially to ones of us who have children who now we have to. I feel like a lot of my friends who have kids, we always talk about how we try to give our kids what our parents never gave us. I know for a lot of us, I think it's just love. For example, I literally just saw a video before recording this. Macaulay Culkin, the kid from Home Alone, and he was on Mythical Kitchen doing like the last meal thing. And he said that, as a kid, he'd never heard the words, "I'm proud of you," which is crazy because, all these big movies, superstar, blah, blah, blah. Never heard that. For his kids, he always says, "I'm proud," And I feel like a lot of us, we didn't hear that a lot unless we were doing sports. But like, sports isn't the only thing, that we do. So I know for me, I try to be the parent that always says, "I love you and I'm proud of you," and stuff like that. A lot of men wake up one day and realize they have people around them, but no one with them. Which, that one is crazy because, again, depending on what you do for work, you're always around somebody, but you can never share that emotion with them. And it's super trash, especially when there's so much things in life going on that a lot of times men, they carry stress, heartbreak, and failure in silence. I know for me, a lot of times when growing up and becoming an adult, whenever I failed at something, obviously you take it hard. Like even now I still take it hard, but I know like how to express my feelings about it. Like, for example, when I lost my job at the bank, that was a really big one. I felt like a complete failure because I left the job that I was good at, which was Best Buy, that I was thriving in, to go do something I had never done before, which is banking. And I had to have people in my close circle tell me, why are you a failure for attempting something that most people are scared to do? And I had to sit back and think about it. I was like, yeah, I got complacent. I got content. Not complacent, content, but, I realized I finally made it, but I wasn't getting paid for it. Like, I was getting recognition. That was cool. Our store manager was the market director. One time he took me to dinner. You know what I mean? I don't know if he actually subscribed to the podcast or not. I remember talking about it, and I pulled up the page, and I think he subscribed. I don't know. If he did, what's up, Jake? Yeah, but to go from there, and I just remember asking, well, how do I make more money? How do I get promoted? And no one ever gave me like a real answer. They're just like, oh, well, you have to wait for a spot to open up. I'm like, all right, well, y'all realize when a spot opens up, you aren't really giving me like a lot of the tools. So there's a lot of begging for tools of how to, for the role and stuff like that. Or, they're like, oh, you're above cap and we can't really give you a raise. And I'm just like, at all? So when I went to the bank, yes, it was scary. But I think it was something I had prayed for. And my skills put me in that door. And I tell people this all the time. I think I got fired from the bank because I got real big headed. And I say I got real big headed because of I stopped giving a lot of the glory to God for real. And yes, he gave me the skills to do what I was doing at Best Buy. So that got me I would say it got me in the room, because it really did, with the manager for the bank. And, I deserved the opportunity, but I wasn't ready for the opportunity. Looking back on it. Yes, the money was great. You know what I mean? I was making about $1,400 every 2 weeks. And it was super dope. But it humbled me real fast that, I just wasn't ready for that. And I suffered a lot inside, kind of in silence. If any of those remember, I tried to post my, steps of doing interviews and all this other stuff. Yeah. I carried that failure and heartbreak, because I was so heartbroken about losing that job, for a long time. I literally carried that. I honestly think I carried that up until I started working at the hospital. I think first day, like when I went to go sign those papers and take the badge photo, like I still held on to that. I was so upset. But yeah. But I really think I needed that moment. Also, I was always busy. I was always doing something. And I also think that was God telling me to sit down for a second. Like, just sit down. You don't have to be in a rush all the time. But we're going to move on to segment 2. Also, if you hadn't realized, I hadn't mentioned, segment 1 was called Why Men Feel Alone. But this segment is called, I'm sorry that I'm keep scratching my head a lot. I think my scalp is just really dry. If anyone knows like a good unscented like shampoo and conditioner, drop it down in the comments if you made it this far in the video. Segment 2, Broken Brotherhood. Here's the truth. Loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about feeling unseen. So many times men don't have the space to be honest, to admit they're tired, to say they're not okay, to sit with another man and say, me too. Now, I don't know about you. That sucks. And I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that, and I've always wanted to give men the room to sit and be like, I ain't doing so hot. You know? I feel like that's something we've earned. And yes, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of friends who have girlfriends and who are married who they can go and say, hey, I don't feel so hot right now up here. I'm tired. You know what I mean? Which is great. But a lot of times it's like, do they really tell their wife that? Do they let them see them tired? You know? A lot of times it's kind of 50-50, depending on how long they've been together. If they're married, how long they've been married, and so on and so forth. I just always wanted to give my homeboys, you know, the space to be like, hey, bro, can I come over? Yeah, dog. You know, and I might throw them some money. Hey, bro, grab some food on the way. Grab a pizza on the way or something. You know what I mean? So we can sit, have a meal, and kind of fellowship together. And I wouldn't say always in a godly way. Like, don't get me wrong, I say fellowship. It's more just like kicking it, hanging out. Now there are times where, depending on what's going on, I might hit them with a verse or two. You know, and then if, you know, depending on where the conversation goes, we'll break it down, see what it is, blah, blah, blah. A lot of times it's just, hey, bro, how you feeling? Like, what's going on? Because, you know, a lot of times we don't feel like we have anyone in our corner, which is kind of bogus. I always want my dogs to feel like, I know my man CJ got me, you know? But I've always, last couple of years, something I had to learn was that's super nice. I can do those things. But I also have to be like, you know, hey man, give me a day. Just give me this 24 hours. I'm really not in the space to really kind of talk. Like, my emotional cup is empty. It's full. A lot of times they understand that because that's where they are. Like, their cup is full. You know what I mean? So just giving the guy somewhere to sit and, like, you know, to be like, I'm not doing so hot. And I like doing that because a lot of times, who you really telling? I always tell my friends that I would rather you sit and tell me what's going on than me speaking at your funeral and telling everyone how you were and the person you were, instead of giving me the chance to be at your wedding, telling everyone who you are. You know what I mean? So all my friends who watch this video, watch this episode and watch the other ones, please give me the opportunity to sit and listen. Like, if you don't have a therapist, hell, we could try to help you find a therapist if you're working and see what insurance you have. But I always know, like, you can talk to me, bro. Like, don't sit in silence, my guy. Brotherhood has become competitive instead of connective. We measure ourselves against each other instead of leaning on one another. I think that's kind of crazy. If you competing against your mans, you weird. What are you doing? You should want to see him win and he should want to see you win. That's flat out. Bro for bro, like, what we talking about? Why we being the bozo? I've never understood trying to be better than your homeboy. You should want to help your homeboy be better, and he should want to help you be better. Cutthroat, cut simple. Like, there's no reason to be competing against each other. If your homeboy is struggling right now to help pay his bills, you should be like, all right, bro, let's try to get you. Let me help you, but also let's try to figure out how to get to the money. Or, hey, bro, like I said, I need someone to talk to. All right. When you free? Oh, you free today? Cool. Me too. Slide through, my boy. Oh, you ain't got a ride? Cool. I'm on the way. Let me grab a pizza. I'm on the way. You know what I mean? Like, why are we competing? Like, I've never understood that. You're lame if you compete against your homeboy, and I hope you lose. You need to lose if you compete against your homeboy. Flat out. And then when the friendship becomes performative, that's when the soul starts starving. Now you're just doing it to keep up and act. Oh, what's up, my boy? That's not your homeboy. That ain't been your homeboy for 2 years. You just keeping up a facade of y'all not having no deep conversations. You seen that game last night? You seen how Seattle put BTA on San Francisco? Yes. Now let's kind of have a real conversation. Now it's cool to have those sports conversations. Like me and my homeboy, when we see each other, we definitely have those conversations. But it's all like I can definitely shoot him a text of, I'm not doing so hot. Bang. But I've also had those friendships where I'm always the one that's trying to plan everything. I'm the one that's always doing the driving. I'm the one that's not getting no appreciation. But I'm the one trying to do this. I'm the one, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's X, Y, and Z going? Never the opposite. Never hey, am I going to come see you? Like, hey, shoot me your address again. I lost it. Like, I'm about to come over to you. Stuff like that. But, it's 2026. We sliding over them people. Segment 3. Building real connection. The solution, start small, my boy. Stay real. Text your homeboy, hey, man, just thinking about you. That's like a base. Like, you can change the wording. You can do however you want. But just let your homeboy know, hey, man, I need you to know that you're my homeboy and I rock with you. Kind of ask it deeper. Like, if they respond, have a conversation, but start digging a little bit deeper. Hey, bro, how you doing? Hey, bro, when's the last time you been to the gym? Hey, bro, stuff like that. Kind of dig a little deeper. Don't be super shallow. And then be the friend you need, bro. Be consistent. Be curious and be kind. Because I guarantee you, if that friend that you're reaching out to is going through some stuff and you're constantly, reaching out like, hey, I'm here for you, my boy. I'm in your corner, my boy. I got you, my boy. They're going to open up to you. Like, it's going to be bet I know bro got me. I know bro rocking with me for real. I know bro care about me for real. Being in a brotherhood is supposed to be a safe space. Where you can just be free. Like, you can be the real you. You can take the mask off, where pain isn't punished and silence doesn't mean isolation. I've had homeboys who have seen, like, I've been in those, tough conversations of I've really been in the mud and I was going through it. And I was talking and I just started crying and they put their arms around me, bro, and just said, bro, let it out. And I felt like I could. And then the opposite. I've had homeboys do the same thing, and I've sat in a room full of people I cared about, and we all started crying. Flat out, like, I mean, boo-hooing this, like, I can't, one of them. Like, that's what the world needs more of, bro. There's a lot of hate going on right now. We really need a lot of people in our corners, you know? It doesn't take 100 friends to feel full. It takes a few real ones willing to show up for one another. Facts. Like, what else I got to say to that? You need me to read it again? I got you. Let me read that one more time for you. It doesn't take 100 friends to feel full. It takes a few real ones willing to show up for one another. Like, that's it. I don't need a bunch of friends. I honestly really think I have like 3 to 5 real friends. Now, it sucks when all of us are working and I'd be like, I want to hang out with somebody and they're all busy. That part sucks. But I get it. We're all grown. But healing begins in community. I'm going to be so real with you. So I'd rather have my 3 to 5 real close friends than have 10 of fake friends. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but all right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up, put a bow on it. In closing, if you feel alone, remember this. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're human. It is okay to be sad. I think I say that in every episode. Be sad. Like, you are meant to laugh, cry, be angry. Like, you are programmed like, at the minimum to do those 3 things: to be happy, to be sad, and to be angry. There's another one on here that, but I'm not going to say that one. But, like, it's okay. Like, be sad. Please be sad. And if that sadness leads to anger, it's okay. Now, don't go out here beating up people or people when we angry or when we sad. Look, we're not trying to end up on like Snapped or nothing. We not doing that. But, talk to like your close friends. Get with your friends. But I got to tell y'all, bro. If you follow us on Instagram, which I'm going to put the Instagram handle right here. Please shoot us a DM, bro. Hell, I'll put the email. You know what? I'm going to put the email, the TikTok, and the Instagram handle in the description below. Well, Luke's going to put that there. And, bro, hit me up. Hit us up. We can kind of talk about some stuff. But, yeah, fam. That's it for this episode. Next time, we're going to talk about what intimacy looks like beyond romance. How emotional intimacy is something men deserve and how to reclaim it. It was starting to get juicy. Starting to get real juicy in here. But for real, y'all, until next time, check on your people. Check on your people. Like, really check on your people. Hug someone. Crack a laugh with somebody. Cry with somebody. And just remember, you are meant to be here. And you are meant to be loved.